Hi guys, this is Shakia. For my model lesson project, I decided to do a model ecosystem with my fourth graders. And I'm going to go through this very quickly. But for the standards, for Common Core, they were to develop a model that described the three roles, the producer, consumer, and decomposer. And they were to use printed and digital data to develop this model. As far as the net standards, they use telecommunications to collaborate, publish, and interact with peers, and they use a variety of different media to formate and communicate this information effectively. The Web 2.0 tools that were used, they had a choice to use for their presentations, whether it be Lino, Google Slides, or Glockster. Those are all just presentation tools that they use to create their digital ecosystem. Google Classroom was used to put the links on there for the information that needed to be researched. So each group had their own, they were grouped within Google Classroom and they had their own resources. Like here, for example, this is my push group, and they had resources to help them determine what animals and what plants and what non-living factors would be in their ecosystem. So they were responsible of researching these things and then putting it together. Um, I also use Kahoot. Kahoot is another informal assessment Web 2.0 tool that just helped me. I gave that as a pre-assessment to help me bridge any gaps that I needed to, as far as the definitions of producer, decomposer, and consumer, making sure that they knew exactly what those three terms meant and if I had to address anything before they got started, which I had to. So I was well prepared to do that. The higher order thinking skills that they had to use, they had to analyze. They had to analyze because after they researched these different ecosystems, they had to choose, okay, which animals do I want in my ecosystem because this animal is a good producer or this animal is a good decomposer. And they had to take apart all that information and determine the relationships to figure out what animals they wanted to contribute to their ecosystem. They had to evaluate because they had to really think critically on this information gained and determining the contributing factors that each animal and plant contributed to the main ecosystem. So a lot of them, during implementation, this is where I really had to facilitate and guide with questioning to help them to really think critically. After they decided to do the research and think critically and decide what animals and non-living things and plants that they wanted in their ecosystem, that's when they had to go ahead and create their digital ecosystem through those Google Web 2.0 presentation tools. As far as differentiation, I made sure that I gave them options to display their ecosystem. So they had, like I said, they had three options, whether they wanted to use Lino, Glockster, or Google Slides. I didn't really give a framework for Google Slides. I just wanted them to kind of be creative and do their thing, which it really turned out pretty well for them. There were some links on the resources that were provided to them in Google Classroom that they were able to, click on just to further their information to help their decisions on what animals and plants that they wanted to be in their ecosystem and to ensure that they were making the good choices, and I facilitated as they were looking through this information, and guided their thinking with questioning. They Once they got done, they were able to present their ecosystem to the third grade, which they enjoyed. Every child had a laptop. They were working in groups of about 6 students, but every child had a laptop, so they were feeding off of each other. Like one person would say, "Oh, on this website I got this," and they were just feeding off each other and learning from one another, and they all had equitable access to a device. So as I reflect on this lesson and when I implemented it. Next time, I would definitely invite the parents because they were very proud of their ecosystems, and I would love for the parents to come and see them. Some students were getting off task while researching because they all had a device, so I had to make sure that I was facilitating effectively. I sent out a survey to see how the students felt. They did not feel that they could connect personally with the lesson, so the next time that I implement this, I want to make sure that I can push a component in there to make it more authentic to them. But overall, they did enjoy creating their digital ecosystems.